It's Aloha Thursday. I'm gonna swim to Saturday. Woo! Breakfast with Bob. Oh yeah.
Poncho Man. We are on Thursday at Breakfast with Bob week. We are brought to you by EAS Sports Nutrition, Hoka One One, Polar, Oscar Wellness, Velo Fix. Four Seasons, Hualalai, TriathlonWorld.com is where we're airing our official medals. Are made by the man sitting next to me for our Thank God I'm Not Racing party tomorrow night, and that is Mr. Dan Ashworth. Danny, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I am wonderful. So, taking over, it was a family business, correct?
It was a family business. Started in 1965 by my dad.
But there was a point where you came in and pretty much changed everything.
Yeah. When I got done with school, in the late 80s, business was struggling, and I stepped in to help my dad out, and we just rebuilt the business, and we went into sports, and we started making medals for Boston Marathon, Ironman, and the business just totally changed and went into a totally different direction.
Did it surprise you? I mean, were you an endurance guy at that point?
I was not. I wasn't an endurance runner at all. It's just, Boston Marathon decided they wanted finishers medal, and that really kicked off the whole trend.
Really? So it started with, so Boston didn't have a finishers medal at that point?
They never had it. In 1983, they actually did their first finishers medals. We did 300 medals that year.
Wow.
Last year we did 38,000.
That is so funny. Does it surprise you how important the medal has become? Because it used to be you get your T-shirt from the race, and then very few races had finishers medals.
Right.
But now, if you don't have a finishers medal...
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a finishers medal, I mean, most events, not like Ironman, you get your finishers T-shirt.
Right.
When you finish the race, but most events, marathons, triathlons, when you register, you pick up your number, you get your shirt, you get all that stuff prior to doing the event. You don't get the medal till you cross the finish line. So that's your token of accomplishment, the medal.
Yeah, because most people aren't winning age groups, right? The average, if there's 38,000 runners, there's 50 who are winning something.
They're racing for the medal.
Yes.
To prove that, it could, a personal record or an accomplishment. I want to run my first half marathon. They're going to display the medal at home. They're never going to throw it away. They're always going to keep it. As we just said, I mean, if your house is burning down, what do you get? You get your medals, you get your photographs, and you leave. I mean, it's a treasure. They value it.
It's interesting you say that, because we had a fire warning a couple years ago, and we had to evacuate. And the first thing I did was grab my Ironman medals and Ironman shirts, and you realize what has value to you and other stuff can be replaced. Those things can't be replaced.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you do another race.
Exactly. Now, we started, Thank God I'm Not Racing 7 years ago, and I think we've been doing medals for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
been 4 or 5 years, and you were kind enough to go, well, Thank God I'm Not Racing, we need to have a medal for this thing. This is, because the race on Saturday, who cares, right? That's been going on for 40 years or something.
Right.
This is only 7, right? This is way more unique.
This is a harder event to get into than Kona.
Way harder to get into, right. So now people get the Thank God I'm Not Racing medal. And you guys, over time, every year it evolves.
True.
And it seems like you take a ton of pride in making something that is so unique and has never been seen before.
Right. This is a good opportunity for us to showcase what we can actually do to a lot of industry people.
Yes.
So we actually just try new things, and this year's medal is amazing.
It is amazing. So we have it here. This is the new Thank God I'm Not Racing. So take me through it. Besides saying, it says Thank God I'm Not Racing, tomorrow night we have 400 people who will be invited to this party.
Yes.
And they will all be not just receiving their medal, they'll have Mark Allen, Dave Scott, whatever top pros are here who are not racing will be presenting those two people in front of our step and repeat. And it says on there, swim 0.0, bike 0.0, run 0.0, brag for the rest of your life.
Brag for the rest of your life, correct.
And take me through the process of coming up with this.
So basically this year I wanted to try some new light effects in our medal, which we've never done. We've put lights in medals before, but I wanted to try to make this year's medal look like an aquarium.
Yes.
So we made the medal extra thick, and we put the deep recess in with the animals, turtles, manta rays, everything is in the recess, and we filled it with a clear epoxy, and we built lights into it. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but in the dark, this glows, and it looks like an aquarium.
And what's cool about that is our party is out on the deck, and it's dark out there.
So it's going to be great. And then We also decided that we wanted to incorporate some lights into the neck ribbon. So
not just any lights, but I don't think I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen lights in the ribbon before. Is that something new for you guys?
That's totally new for us. I was on a trip to the Orient and I saw that at a trade show, and I'm like, that would be awesome.
Perfect for thank God I'm not racing.
So this is the first medal we've ever done with a lighted up ribbon. So tomorrow night at the party, it's going to be pretty wild watching 400 people walking around with these medals on.
It's funny because the number of people who will be posting social media with pictures of their medal
during the event.
During the event, yes. And after the event, walking around with their medal. I've had people having it in their bag and get stopped at security because it's pretty heavy.
The one we did 2 years ago that weighed about 2 pounds.
Yes,
a lot of people got stopped at that one.
I love that. So what? I mean, for you and your company, doing something, is that fun to do something that's just like there's a blank slate? You can do whatever the heck you want. I'm not saying this is what I know that you're going to do something great.
Yeah, we just take a lot of pride, and that's what we built our business on, our creativity. We try to do different things because each race is its own individual race. They just don't, their medal needs to be special to that race. So we try to, every event we work with, we put this much creativity into their product as well.
So do most race directors come to you and say, do something for me, or do they come with a specific idea?
I'd say about 90% come to us without any idea of what they want. They'll give us their logo and they'll try to explain what they want, but they put their trust in us to come up with what we think the athletes would like at the finish line. I race, my wife races, so we're involved in the sport, and we know what we want to get at the finish line, so we've just put that into the medals that we manufacture.
How proud are you when you on Sunday and tomorrow, you're going to see, 3,000 people walking around town, or 2,300 people walking around town in your product?
I mean, it gives us a huge sense of accomplishment because, just seeing people value what you do so much, I mean, it makes what we do worth doing.
How many medals did you make this year, approximately?
Roughly around 3 million.
3 million medals.
So,
what has surprised you about the growth of this whole medal thing? Because over time, the medals are getting more and more involved. The ribbons are getting more and more involved. What is the next evolution?
I don't know. I mean, for a while there, the medals were getting very, very large. And that's come back to planet Earth.
Yes.
You just got to stay ahead of the curve. You just got to be super creative. You just got to think outside the box and just do something different that athlete's gonna want to hang up in their house and want to show. So they put the ugly medals to the back, and they put the Ashworth medals to the front.
What do you look at as your proudest accomplishment as an endurance guy?
Working with Ironman in Boston, the two.
Oh, there's two premier brands.
Two premier endurance events in the world.
Yes.
Just being able to work with those two groups is just a huge sense of accomplishment.
Love it.
So, and and we race for our own medals. We do the races. So, it's just a huge accomplishment.
How many Ironmans now have you done?
I've done 2.
Yeah.
My wife's done 5.
So she owns you, basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
I don't even compete with her. I can't even train with her anymore.
Dan, thanks so much for taking time. And thank you as always. This is private. Don't tell anybody about it. This is for tomorrow night and only for our invitees to thank God on that racing party. Medals, courtesy, Ashworth Awards. Poncho Man, take us out.
Thanks, Bob.
It's a little hot Thursday. I'm gonna run through Saturday. It's breakfast with Bob and Brother Dan and TGIN.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan the man.
Thanks, Bob.